Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor. And as you saw yesterday, President Biden was in the Grand Canyon state of Arizona. When asked why he wasn't going to visit the border while he was there, he said, there's more important things to do. There's more important things to do. Joining us right now is a congressman from Arizona who might have a list of things that Mr. Biden should attend to at the border before whatever thing he attended to that was more important. Representative Andy Biggs. Congressman, thanks for joining us, sir.
Larry, thanks for having me. Good to be with you.
You know, you've been around politics for a while. I know you're used to seeing some arrogant hubris. Can you believe Joe Biden saying that there's more important things than visiting the disaster of a border that he's overseeing right now in your state?
Yeah, I mean, I was baffled by that. And in fact, I actually thought that he might have scheduled a border stop along with the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing plant. But also, we've got some great ice cream stores around the Valley of the Sun. Thought he might stop in there. But yeah,
that's how you get the man down there. A little chocolate chip.
Exactly. But no, Larry, the border is worse than ever. I've been talking. I talk fairly regularly to my friends. I've got local elected officials that give me information, local sheriffs that give me information, CBP agents that give me information, ranchers and businessmen and women along the border. And Yuma is up over 100 people a day just in the last 10 days. And that's part and parcel of the Biden administration's failed policy. And when Title 42 goes away, instead of getting about 12,000 people a day into the country, Larry, you're going to have closer to 18, perhaps as high as 20,000 people a day illegally entering the country.
So what do you say to the rest of the people around the country right now who hear that and recognize what a problem it is, but yet the people of Arizona just reelected Mark Kelly to the Senate and elected Katie Hobbs as the governor? I assure you there are Americans right now hearing you, Congressman Biggs, saying, hey, Arizona's going to get what they vote for.
Well, in a way, I guess that's always true. You always get what the kind of government you voted for, and that's why we've got Joe Biden and the horrible policies that he's foisted upon the country, I suppose. But the reality is, it's coming to you. If you live in Washington, D.C., in the metro area of Washington, D.C., it is coming to you. And when I say that, I'm talking about everything from the terrorists who are getting in, the criminals who are getting in, the fentanyl that's being brought in record amounts, and also the human and sex trafficking that's coming into the country in record amounts. It is coming to you wherever you are in this country. In fact, I've been told by CBP agents, they've told me that if there is a community, if there's a city or town in this country, there is a Mexican cartel presence in that city or town, no matter the size.
Yeah, every state is a border state now. Absolutely true. Let's shift to what you hope to achieve in the new Republican majority in the House. You've announced you challenged Kevin McCarthy in the Republican caucus, and he did win the vote of your colleagues there to be Speaker. And yet you announced yesterday that you're going to go ahead and challenge him on that floor vote. What's the strategy here?
Well, here's the deal, Larry. You only once in a generation or so do you have an opportunity to actually change the trajectory in a meaningful way of both the Congress and the United States of America. And right now we have got an existential crisis. We've been talking about the border, but we could talk about any number of issues in the country that are going the way of the left and the Marxists. And so the question is, how do we stand up to it? Do we decentralize power in Congress and open it up so we can actually fight on every level and advance these policies and stand up, advance our policies, the conservative Republican platform policies, or do we just keep electing people who failed to fight? So let me give you an example. What's going on now in the National Defense Authorization Act? Mr. McCarthy announced yesterday that we're going to stop mandating vaccines for military. Hey, that's great. But there's nothing about reinstatement of those tens of thousands of people that you wrongfully kicked out. But moreover, why didn't you stand up for it when it was in the House just a couple of months ago when we were asking for you to do the same thing? Or why didn't you stand up for it a year ago when we were asking for you to do the same thing as our leader? And the reason is because he now feels like he's got pressure that's real and legitimate. And without that, he would not have acted.
Hmm. Well, I mean, given that, and given the fact that you are part of the Liberty Caucus, or the Freedom Caucus, excuse me, and you've got a good handful of colleagues who can sort of influence and put pressure on Leader McCarthy if he were to become Speaker to ensure that you've got a good conservative agenda. Why not use your influence in that way rather than actually challenging him for speakership? Do you have the votes for this?
Yeah, we do have the votes. Let's put it this way. He doesn't have the votes, so why should he stay around to be the speaker when he has not stood up to fight on these issues that are of such critical importance over the last 12 years that he's been near at the apex of Republican Party leadership? And my point is, and so many people around this country agree with me, it is, if you continue to have the same leadership, you're going to get the same policies and same problems that we have. And that's why Donald Trump actually won, is because he was going to change out and disrupt the establishment. So why would we perpetuate, Larry, the establishment with his candidacy? So that I would suggest that it's an opportunity to actually disrupt the establishment, the uniparty, the swamp deep state, whatever you want to call it, and actually move back to a more free market Republican platform. Platform. That's really what we're trying to get at, Larry.
Let me ask you about a very real scenario. It happened yesterday on Capitol Hill, where Kevin McCarthy, representing the minority party, minority leader in the House, was asked to attend this ceremony to give an award to members of the Capitol Police, a couple of them posthumously. It was a humiliating affair for Leader McCarthy and for Leader McConnell, as these police officers and their families refused to shake their hand. It looked like it was a staged event. If you had been the leader of the Republicans, would you have attended that event? How would you have handled that?
Yeah, I think I probably would have had to attend that event. I think protocol called for attendance, but I also would have tried to work with Schumer and Pelosi to make sure that this was done in a more appropriate fashion. Sometimes that's going to happen, and McCarthy probably thinks I never feel bad for him, but I did feel bad for him because I thought that the conduct of the awardees, the recipients, was beneath the honor and dignity of that ceremony, and it was a shame that happened.
Well, see, now listen, if I can serve at all, I can bring two people who are political foes right now. I can bring you together and find some agreement. See, this is why you come on this show, Congressman.
Larry, you are what we like to say, the great spaghetti in the middle of the sauce. And so we commend you for helping out.
I believe a sitting congressman just referred to me as a noodle, but I'll take it. Now, if I can get you with my pal Mark Levin to actually break bread and have a spaghetti dinner, that would be something.
That's probably not going to happen anytime in the near future, Larry.
Well, listen, anything can happen, and obviously you're trying to be speaker, and it's a bit of a long shot, but it's going to be interesting to see the way this plays out. And I think it's very important to hold our elected officials accountable and make them answer to the people of this country. Yeah. And I think that your candidacy will at least get Kevin McCarthy's attention. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, good luck on the border issue there. I know that you're outspoken on behalf of the people of your district against the president's failed policies. And I appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thanks so much, Larry. Always good to be with you.
That is Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona. And there's more to come on O'Connor Tonight.